if I see anything, I will, ask if if maybe you can grab it on the next trip if it works out that way.
Rob, I think that may be one of them. I think it looks, but again, it's a blue and white Gundam. They're not really specific in my head.
I understand, Don. But no, if you do see the High New Gundam, if they have both parts of it, I would be interested, definitely. There's a couple other ones that's that, like I appreciate you saying you'll take a picture, because I know the names would mean nothing to you, so it's just much easier that way for everybody.
Well, I guess some gamers are like filthy casuals. I guess I'm a filthy casual for Gundam, because it's like, if it's not G Gundam and maybe to a small degree Gundam Wing or Build Fighters, I can't really pick them out.
I understand. There's just so much of it,
There's this Gundam I want, and it's blue and white and red, and it has some yellow on it. Which one is that? Pick one.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, we lost Matt. Hopefully his power hasn't gone out.
He said the storm died down, so it should be fine.
Okay, good. So it's just standard internet. And our phones started working again, so that's a plus.
Have you got like digital phones or something, or?
I mean, they all are at this point, but.
Well, no, I've got a landline. I've got a landline, so I thought maybe you had a landline and it wasn't working or something.
No, we got rid of our landline because Verizon wanted $100 a month for it, and it would stop working correctly once every couple of months. So,
well, that can go straight to hell, which is basically what you told them, I guess. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And but no, this is apparently there's carrier we use, or rather the company we use uses AT&T as a carrier, and there was a big AT&T outage in the area today, so that just kind of added to the chaos of my having to be up really early to make sure that they could get their shots. So
well, yeah, I've still got the landline. Like I said, if I have a medical emergency, I don't want to trust my cell phone, even though where we're at is pretty good coverage. It's like I'm not risking my fiance or Massey's health on not being able to get out.
I understand.
Yeah. Plus, I'll be honest, I do some phone by banking because I trust it a little bit more than the
phone by banking. That seems a little bit roundabout for general purposes, but you do you, Don.
I had a very good but very long day at work, so I'm a little tired.
I'm glad it was a good day at least.
Yeah, it was a pretty good couple of days. It's our orders have dropped, so we're not staying every day till 7 o'clock.
That's good.
So, I went by Walmart today, and they had well, surprisingly, they had about 4 cases of Walmart Headmasters out. There was also Wave 2, but there was one box of Wave 1 that I saw one Mind Wipe. Stuck in the very back, which I've not seen any of Wave 1. And they had 2 Grimlocks. I thought, slag, no.
No, it's too early for that.
I know, but I thought, be like, oh, it's the Grimlock. So, but yeah, they had that. They got in the Arachnite Air Razor Huffer Wave, all those Walmart Headmasters, Grimlock.
When I was there last week, they had a whole fresh case of Kingdom Wave 1.
Well, I keep looking. Just
we lost you there, Don.
Sorry. It's sometimes I'll go for weeks. Checking, getting food. Whatever the case may be while I'm there, and I always swing by because you never know what's going to turn up. Because they had marked down to the sky. They had marked the Sky Sled down to $18. They're on this week. They're on sale at Target for $15. But they just put random stuff on clearance. It's like the Joe Fixit Wave. Jocasta was $12.90 something. Which is a fairly recent wave.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
What's up, guys? I'm walking my dog. I'll be on a real microphone shortly.
All right.
Yeah, I was going to. This isn't really anything important. I was
That's what
bidding.
pre-show's for, Don.
Yeah, I found it on eBay. It was a link to some of the Hasbro control art for Man-Terror's packaging.
Neat.
And Man-Terror is one of my favorite Beast Wars figures.
Oh, you bought it?
Well, I was going to, and then it went for about $40. And
I would have paid over $40 for that.
yeah, well. See, when I first saw it, I texted John on. Well, I messaged John on Twitter, and he said they show up fairly common, so don't like go overboard. But I'll keep my eyes out for. I mean, I really wanted this. Just like with what I've spent lately, $40 is something right now that I don't need to be spending on something that I can wait a little while longer and try to catch.
Yeah, Blade Raider, Beast Wars package art book would be pretty cool. I mean, I don't want to say the Beast Wars art in general was great, because a lot of it wasn't, but like for archival purposes, definitely I'd want to see that stuff preserved and reproduced in a high quality format.
Well, I mean, because we most of us have the G1 book, and that's a treasure trove of archiveness, which is the word of the night.
Archivity.
Thank you. But I mean, because Beast Wars is someone's G1, and that needs to be preserved as well. It'd be a really nice, especially if they could get some unused or alternate artwork that was never used. That'd be great.
Yeah, digging up stuff like that would be good. Hi, Diecast.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I was doing my refinance.
Okay. Well, we're live already, so don't
Who expected
don't start
that?
reading off the social security number or anything.
Yeah. What a grown-up reason to be late.
Yeah. And my boss gave me because I was like, yeah, I gotta leave on time today because I have a refinance. And he's like, shh. Well, I stay late every day, so I should be able to leave on time every once in a while.
I mean, someone should be able to leave on time every single day.
That is not the case in my...
Yeah, shoot for the moon there, Diecast. You might get it.
John, find any turtles yet?
I haven't seen any in the wild, but also I haven't been looking. I guess I've heard reports that that Muckman is showing up, so I'm gonna have to start looking again. But I'll let you know.
Does Muckman come with Mondo Gecko?
He comes with Joe Eyeball.
Joe Eyeball.
Mondo Gecko comes with oh God, I forgot his name. He's the alien,
the little turtle alien.
The alien turtle. Yes.
But do they ship in a case together, or are they solid packed on their own?
They're packed on their own, so they come in their own cases.
The only turtle figure I have is Crane, because that's a lot of figure in that box for $35.
Yeah.
But I would really like to see an Usagi Yojimbo. And again, I've not read the character's book. I just always thought it was just a really cool looking design.
I mean, it's probably possible.
Yeah, they've hinted that it's like multiple licenses, and they actually have successfully gotten them. So we may see that. I'll say this too: the Mondo Gecko is going to be really awkward because NECA has the license for the show characters, and Super 7 has the license for the toy designs, the original Playmates toy designs. And Mondo Gecko is one of those that started as a toy and they translated to the show. So the show model and the toy are basically the same.
Ooh.
And they're both releasing a Mondo Gecko. So that's going to be really awkward.
Well,
although I've seen pictures of the NECA Mondo Gecko, and cosmetically it's different enough, I think, for both of them to coexist.
Yes, but we're getting close here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, even Muckman and Joe Eyeball, I think, is kind of pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember until I heard about the NECA figure at all that they were even in an episode of the cartoon. Of course, then I remembered because I have total recall of all things 8 years old. But like,
Indeed.
I find it weird that a company would actually want to go with the toy aesthetic just because, like, when I was a kid growing up, I always had the toys, but they didn't quite match what was on the screen, and that always bothered me a little bit. So now to be able
like
to
with
get something
Transformers.
exactly, so now to be able to get something that's screen accurate, that's what drives me.
Well, now,
I think Ninja Turtles is one of those lines that people are specifically nostalgic for the toys in some cases. Like they have a specific memory of those Playmates toys. So it's a very special case there with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
now,
I pre-ordered the Super 7 Krang Bubble Walker thing from the last round of pre-orders because like
Looks great.
that's a strong nostalgia association for me. If Super 7 does a Krang's Android body, I'll get that and have it right alongside the NECA one that I have. Those are strong associations in both forms for me, cartoon and the Playmates toys. Both of them have like an equal place.
well, who would Usagi be paired with as a release? Because he seems like he would be too slight to make his own.
Maybe they could give him the spacesuit parts from the second
Space
Usagi toy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The only Ninja Turtle series I've ever watched, other than off and on the original one, was the 2012 Nick version. I did keep up with that for all 4 seasons, so that's the only one I'm really familiar with as far as the characters.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, especially with the original cartoon, like after a certain point, it got a little bit dense with, characters of the week getting introduced. So past like season 3, I want to say, like nobody can blame you for losing track of who was actually in the cartoon or not.
Oh yeah, and especially when it moved to CBS mornings.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, the Red Sky seasons.
But that was just for like the last 2 years, I think. But like, from the time that it started on CBS, which was I think 1990 or maybe the start of 91 up until 94, 95 when it got the Red Sky episodes. Like there was a big like week to week guest cast. So trying to remember what actually made him what stayed toy line only is not an easy thing.
No, it's that fandom's rebirth. We speak different languages, but we have the same feelings, or however you want to put it. But we've been through this. Different fandoms have been through this same story.
I got to thinking if they don't do the space stuff, maybe that's where they could fit Irma, since it's 2 kind of slight smaller characters in one box. So it's not like they could probably maybe make a little more money on that at keeping it at the same price point because it's smaller characters and less plastic.
Well, it's still like a full action figure though, so I think that would probably. It wouldn't be quite the same as like a Muckman or a Kerma. You need something more on that scale.
Yeah, she's probably coming in a 2-pack.
Maybe throw a couple Mousers in.
Yeah, basically, I was basically gonna say like a troop builder, which is what Mousers would be. Something that you would think most collectors would have to feel compelled to get. Not that at this point, if you're collecting this line, you're getting Irma. Like, I don't think they have to try to convince you with Irma, but they may have the idea of like, let's just do a troop builder set with her.
You always need more Mousers.
Yeah, that's the one thing though that I kind of hated about the 2012. They introduced Irma, and while it was an absolutely wonderful use of it being like a Krang, pretender shell of sorts, there was never a real Irma in the series. It's like, that's cool, and it's like, but it's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of the human side characters ever got revisited in the subsequent series. And probably there was something of, like rights issues to do with that from the different production companies, maybe, but also might just been a perceived lack of interest.
That's weird.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Chris.
Like the 2003 cartoon was definitely trying to do something very different, but for something like the 2012 cartoon, that felt more like it was willing to draw in from a bunch of different sources, but it still seemed to kind of stay away from a lot of the pre-established stuff.
It's weird that there's some stuff 90s that's like super popular, like Power Rangers and Turtles, that I only have this passing fancy with. But you get something obscure like SWAT Cats, and I'm a huge fan. I mean, like Super 7 SWAT Cats win.
SWAT Cats, like literally the most early 90s cartoon.
Yeah, who owns that? Is that got to be in some kind of license?
There was some kind of Kickstarter project for that several years ago, but I forget what the point was.
The Tremblays own the rights to the characters, and they kickstarted a project to basically recreate the stuff so they could earn enough money to do a 5-minute or some odd minute pilot to shop it around. But the Kickstarter was successful up to a certain point, but I don't think they got enough money to do the animation and stuff. But that's the last I heard. Kind of like, they were shopping around the Captain Power reboot. Oh, and totally non sequitur. I did not know the guy that played Captain Power was the original actor for Face from A-Team, but he was replaced by Dirk Benedict.
Okay.
I got something great for what we got this week.
All right, I have nothing, so that balances out.
At least I think it's great. You guys may laugh, but
probably. I laugh at you frequently, Diecast.
I think maybe I've got you beat this week, Diecast. I think maybe I've got you beat.
What, at something we'll laugh at, or
no, something awesome? I mean, I'm already awesome, but
I still have to send Brian the file from History on the Fives that I recorded yesterday. Boy, that was off the rails.
You did check and make sure the audio was working, right?
No.
What do I care? I wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's not like the podcast people literally pay us to hear every week.
Well, it's for the Patreons, so
I will say one thing. I'm working on my backlog. I always work on the backlog, but I will be honest. This core class Starscream, there's engineering in here that you would expect from a third-party Legends figure with the way some of this stuff does. This is an amazing little figure that I did not give enough credit when it was first announced.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I think it's neat. I don't know that I'd go as far as you did, but. Yeah,
well, I'm saying for a Hasbro $10 figure, there is a lot of engineering tricks in here that you would expect to see on a more expensive Legends size figure from New Age or Magic Square.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd go
it's
maybe
definitely some original engineering tricks.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it's stuff we haven't seen applied in a while, especially on a scale like that.
Now, I don't know whether if I might buy Skywarp and Thundercracker because they're going to come somehow eventually. That might make for a nice little selects thing. Instead of having all the repaints go to store, do it as a selects. That'd be like a $20 or $24 select set. That'd be kind of nice.
Oh wait. That's show content. I can't even.
All right.
About that.
I don't know how I'd feel about Select's core class.
I'm just saying, it's sort of like what they did with the Seekers and BotCon, kind of. that they don't want to be sending a lot of the same molds out to the stores and everything wind up sitting there eventually. But if they did it through selects or shared exclusive or whatever, it'd be probably an easier one to get, and it'd be a cheaper thing that more fans could get without it being a $49 to $55 selects offering.
I'd be
At the
okay
same
with it.
time, at the same time, if they know they're going to continue the core class through like the next 2 years, which at this point they probably know that they plan to do that,
Yeah.
they can just slowly trickle out Seeker recolors as in normal retail waves without overloading anything, and at the same time get built-in case assortment fillers without having to like commit to any new engineering or much different in the way of deco masks.
Yeah, and also, there's very likely they could do a 3-pack for $29.99. That'd be your Rainmakers. And I'm sure there's engineering built in there if, you or Rob looked at it, since you're a lot more knowledgeable about that than I am, that you can get Conehead engineering out of that as well. I was sure that was at least built in to be used somewhere down the road.
I mean, the robot head is just right underneath the actual nose cone, so I don't see why they couldn't just like permanently put a new nose cone end on there that's on its own swivel and just have that turn around where it needs to. So yeah, they probably could get a cone head out of this. I don't know if they want to go that much retooling trouble. We don't usually see Legends or core class stuff get a lot of pre-tooling parts. But
it's Seekers. And
if it's something they plan from the beginning to use a bunch of times over and over again, that's of course going to make them go a little bit differently with how they design it. But just as it is, I don't know if the replacement head is one thing that's kind of a small-ish component, but unique wings for each of the 3 different kinds, it does kind of add up after a little bit.
I agree with Don. I think it would make a good select set. Maybe if you don't even do Skywarp and Thundercracker, maybe they're retail like always, but maybe do an Acid Storm and a Sunstorm and all those guys in a single select.
I swear,
pack.
if that's the only way I ever see a Hasbro Generation Sunstorm, I'm going to come to your house and beat you up. On that note, is everybody ready to start the actual show?
I am.
Yeah. All right. Start a new recording.
We're starting
and find the show notes.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
This is Radio Free Cybertron episode 729, recorded on, what is this? This is Wednesday because it's RFC night. It's the 2nd of June, 2021. I'm XV. I'm not Brian Kilby because, once again, I've stepped in to guest host because Brian Kilby is on assignment in Micronesia or something. Someplace small. He tweeted some pictures of it. It looks very small where he is. I also understand there was some vomit-inducing carnival rides or something that he opted out of because he's the smart one in the family. Joining me tonight, we have, of course, the one, the only, the headmaster, Don Ferguson.
Hello.
Matt, aka Melvar.
Hey, how's it going?
Or unknown if you're looking at the caption under his video on the stream. We have John DeLuna, who may or may not be back in the studio by this point. He was joining us on the road or on the dog trail during pre-show, walking his dogs.
Yes, I was on the road. Now I'm in the house, and shortly I will be on the proper mic.
That's nice.
Somehow I thought you were going to finish that sentence with on the toilet.
Yeah, I was going to say on the loo.
The thing is, though, John would make a really good replacement for Charles Kuralt because he is that really on the road with John DeLuna.
Okay.
That's it. Yep. You got me, Don. my plans have been revealed.
I mean, our longest time viewers or listeners may know this. John actually started out on a broadcasting path for his career, and of course he switched into better, more fruitful things as he got deeper in and found out how horrible it was. But he's totally got one of those TV or radio personality names.
Thank you very much.
Also, we have this week Diecast.
I'm here after an episode of History on the Fives, which
We're really
Totally
hoping
went
actually
off the
got
rails.
recorded.
yeah, which may or may not have gotten recorded. Absolutely. But if it did get recorded, you guys should listen to it.
And of course, we have Rob Clay.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's actually a good segue, Diecast. It's the beginning of the month, which is the perfect time to become a patron. And of course, the History on the Fives podcast is exclusive to our patrons. Patrons get access to a lot of exclusive Patreon content, Patreon podcast content. I'm leaving out important words because that's what I do. So in addition to History on the Fives, we also had recently a Toy Detective episode from Rob about Commander Class Rodimus Prime. So there's, different things come up as we have topics to discuss, and all that's available to our patrons. As for History on the Fives, that's a recurring podcast, usually hosted by Brian and several members of our patron community. Basically, if you liked our This Week in History segment from the show over the last several years, it's just like that, but even more, with more people and more chaos, from what I understand. I've never been on it myself, but I understand it's quite a time. And if you do become a patron at the Touch tier, you actually would have an opportunity to participate in a recording of History on the Fives. So that's definitely something to check out if you've ever wanted to be on a podcast with Yobi or sometimes Diecast and just kind of leave your mark on the TF Radio Network empire. You can go to patreon.com/TF Radio to learn more and sign up. I also want to point out Amazon Prime Day for this year was just announced this morning as we record, and it's going to happen on June 21st and 22nd. So Amazon Prime Day is actually 2 days, but we're not gonna nitpick that too much. So of course, while you hunt for deals and special offers, we want to remind you that using our affiliate link is one of the easiest ways you can help to support the show. You go to tfradio.net/Amazon now or during Prime Day. It works all the time. You'll get sent to Amazon's homepage, but now anything you buy will send some referral money back to us to help keep the show running. It won't cost you anything extra. It actually takes money out of Amazon's pocket, and who can complain about that?
They have plenty. Help us out.
Yeah, I know, right? So, you'll get that 87-inch TV you've been keeping an eye on all year long, and we'll get a shiny new quarter from Amazon because you used our affiliate links. John DeLuna, if you're still with us, do we have any new developments in our merchandise store?
Not this week, but I'll keep you guys posted. I am working on some stuff, and I will post on Twitter when we have some sales. We've got some sale dates in June, of course.
Awesome.
Excellent. So if you want to get an RFC t-shirt or other forms of merchandise adorned with designs by our own John DeLuna, go to tfradio.net/shirt. All right, so let's jump right into the news this week. So Transformers Tuesday just happened, and we had the reveal, the first reveal. Now, we'd known this was coming because Amazon Australia posted some stuff early, but no pictures had leaked or anything, so this is remarkable. It's another Battle Cross Time 2-pack. This one is Sideswipe and Skywarp. Skywarp, you say? Huh? Yeah, so this is the Maximal Skywarp from Beast Wars 2nd, which was Takara's version of Silverbolt from the Magnaboss Combiner. So it's confusing if you don't know a lot about, like, the secondary Beast Wars fiction from Japan, but it's kind of a cool inclusion to have that recognized during, what's ostensibly the 25th anniversary celebration of all of Beast Wars, even though Beast Wars 2nd was like a year late.
Another Sideswipe?
Well, this is the Earth mode Sideswipe.
Oh.
So it's been retooled similar to how Mirage was. And also similar to how Mirage was, they've removed several openings on there that were used for aftermarket parts, such as spoilers. So anybody who has spoilers for their Siege Sideswipe fleet is going to have to wait for somebody to develop new engineered ones for this remold.
So spoilers, no spoilers?
Correct.
Damn it.
I hate that, but correct. Yeah, so in G1, the Sideswipe and Sunstreaker toys were both based on the same model of Lamborghini, and so they've retooled the Earth mode for Sideswipe to be very similar to Earthrise Sunstreaker. There's differences in them in shape, of course, because they had to work with the existing engineering, but they've, gotten as much of the details as they could to be similar between them. And I think that's a really nice touch. It's just kind of a shame that neither of them have spoilers like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we've already bought that siege mold so many times too.
Yeah. What's also a shame is the price on this. So this is an Amazon exclusive, like the Mirage and Beast Wars Grimlock set. Now that Mirage and Grimlock set is $53 on Amazon. It's still available for pre-order as we're recording this week, because for the first month or two when these are up, they can pretty much just keep them up indefinitely, because it'll just get added on to whatever quantity is ordered from the factory. It's not until later on that they sell out, and then you're out of luck if you waited too long. But that's a Voyager and a Deluxe, that Mirage and Grimlock set. So $53 for that seems to be about right. This Sideswipe and Skywarp 2-pack is also $53 now, and it's 2 deluxes.
It's hurting my head because the press release says the MSRP is $44.99, and then Pulse had it for $47.99.
Yeah, and when it first went up on Amazon, while Pulse still had their listing up, it was $44.99. Now, Pulse sold out of their little bit of allocation of this, and then suddenly, mysteriously, the price on Amazon went up by $9.
No, when I personally ordered, it was $52.99 on Amazon, and then I went over to Pulse and saw it was cheaper, and I purchased it I pre-ordered it.
Oh, so they raised the price while it was still on Pulse.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
my assumption up until now had been that they had it at the SRP to undercut Pulse, and then as soon as they didn't have to worry about that anymore, they just jacked it up to wherever they wanted it.
Yeah, I wish that was the case.
Well, I was on it within the first few minutes, so I do have a pre-order locked in at the $44.99. The problem is, I don't even know if I want this.
You know what? I'm afraid they're going to do another couple of those molds, and I'll be without a Sideswipe, an Earth mode Sideswipe. So I'm like, I kind of have to get it.
I would like to have the Earth mode Sideswipe. I did eventually break down and order the Mirage pack because I like that Mirage and I desperately wanted one that wasn't made of clear plastic. But this Sideswipe's not doing enough different on its own to justify this 2-pack. It's like I would kind of like to have that Sideswipe, but I don't think I can go in on this.
Yeah, I have to agree with Matt. The problem is I did place a pre-order through our Amazon link, and it's just I'm really on the fence. I may keep it, I may not. I don't know. It's just I do kind of want the Sideswipe to go with Sunstreaker, and I like the Air Razor mold enough to want to get it again. I kind of was hoping it would be a different character using that same kind of engineering, like Pterosaur. Yeah, but it's like the way these exclusives are going. Once they're gone, you don't know what hoops you're going to have to. It's FOMO. I know it's FOMO, but with the Seeker 2-packs and the Ratchet and Paradron Medic and the Ironhide and the Prowl, if you don't get it now,
the Ironhide and Prowl.
Yeah, so it's like you don't really want it. Well, you kind of want it, you kind of don't. But it's like, how much are you going to pay later if you decide you want it and they've all ninja vanished?
Yeah.
Yeah, like luckily that Siege Sideswipe is close enough, and mine has a spoiler on it now. Where if I don't get this Earth mode Sideswipe, I'll still be fine.
And the good thing, Matt, is you don't care about Skywarp and Grimlock, so there'll be tons of people that would probably be willing to buy those off of you.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have a problem getting rid of that Grimlock.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Matt here. Like, my Siege Sideswipe, I've got a spoiler kit for it. I have a repro label roof on it. Like, just those 2 things alone are enough to, earthify it for me, that Like, I don't really know that I need the other retooling that's been done. The stock photos make it look like the red is brighter and more saturated than the Siege one, which I kind of like that. And of course, there's no battle damage on this
No
one.
battle damage. That's a big selling point.
Yeah, I mean, there's pluses to this, but I don't know if it's enough. Like, probably in the long run, what's going to happen is I'm going to just, like, back and forth on it and not actually do anything up until the point that it comes out, and then it's just like, oh, I guess I have this now. I'm a very responsible hobby buyer that way.
Yeah.
Well, look, it shipped. I guess I got it.
Well, and then, like, the other thing too, I like that Air mold, and I think that Skywarp deco on it actually looks nice. It'd be funny if it was G1 Skywarp deco on it. But the Beast Wars second Skywarp deco looks nice on that. There's a little bit more pop and color variation than on Air, and it does have a new head. So, like, that in itself is kind of appealing to me. Definitely more than Grimlock is appealing in the other set, because they totally bungled that one.
Well, if you want the Air Razor and decide you don't need the Sideswipe, maybe we can work something out.
Well, I noticed in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, come chat with us. Blade Runner said he's buying an overpriced Maximal Skywarp with bonus-free Sideswipe. So, I mean, there might be something to be worked out there if he doesn't care about that Sideswipe.
You know how to get in touch with me, Blade.
Basically, though, I got in on this pre-order at $44.99 because I was there right when it went up. And I'm iffy on it at that level. If I had gotten to it when it was $52.99 like it is right now, I would not have even considered it. That's too much for two deluxes when only one of them has any extensive remodeling done.
If this is where we had gotten Pack Rat recolor, just a straight recolor of Rat Trap, in with this set to make it the $49.99 or whatever, I would have enjoyed that set, because you would have got Pack Rat and would have filled out the price point a bit more. But this also means, and more than one, this is not me saying this, I've seen this on Twitter off and on throughout the day. Now that we're seeing this mold as a Magna Boss character, that probably shoots down at possibly us getting an actual Magna Boss at some point.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And what the insiders have been saying all along too is there's not any plans for Leo Jr. or Santa, I think was the Ironhide version of the Ironhide version in the Japanese release. There's not any plans to do either of those characters. This is a one-off, basically, just like a single nod because they had a bird mold that they needed to reuse.
Yeah, but I mean, a Pack Rat from Rat Trap would have filled out this set nicely. It would have made the price point a lot more palatable, and you would have gotten for people who knew Pack Rat was an important character from the Beast Wars as far as the fiction side.
Although, Don, the other way to consider this is we are getting some form of Terrorsaur. I think is one of the Golden Disc series exclusives on Amazon later this year. So what they could do is take that and the Rat Trap mold and do a Selects 2-pack of Pack Rat and Fractal.
Oh, I love that. Oh, gee. And this design team would be that much of a deep cut.
Quite possibly. I mean, if they're dipping into Shattered Glass, there's not much reason to not do an updated BotCon set, basically. Now, all we need is an Inferno for them to do an Antagony off of, and then we'll be all set.
Wow. Like I've been saying since Kingdom was announced, we're going to get Ant Inferno. He's just going to be called Scavenger, so they can keep that name, and also it still is in line with an Ant character, but he'll look just like Inferno.
I think if they did this like they're doing with Terrorsaur and it goes out as a store exclusive, they're not going to care if there's a name overlap, because we're getting Grimlock and Skywarp in these 2-packs, and we've got a Grimlock on store shelves at the same time. That's a completely different character.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they want to use that character to keep the Scavenger name trademark, since they haven't used Scavenger since the Constructicon sets.
I would bet you that re-release of the Titan Devastator this year counts as re-upping all the Constructicon names. So I think they're covered. I mean, Hasbro lost the ability to use some names in the early 2000s because of disuse like that. So I think having gone through that once and struggled to get a lot of those names back to where they could use them, I think they're probably a lot more careful about that, and they're more observant of making sure that they re-up that stuff to whatever degree they need to hold on to it. They're not going to let, like classic character names like that slip through their fingers again, unless we get to a point where the Transformers brand like takes a huge dive, which it will happen someday, but for right now it's enough of a thing that they're clawing onto everything they can and not letting go. But yeah, that 2-pack got revealed, and boy, our opinions mixed and also kind of iffy.
It's the most on the fence release I've seen in quite a while.
At least both toys turned out better than what's in the Mirage and Grimlock pack.
That's true.
Yeah. No, Don, don't give me that look. Like, that Grimlock just is a complete mistake.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, because we talked about that last week or the week before. I mean, I totally agree. It needs to be a lot more Dalmatian, a lot less whatever. But that Mirage mold, I do like that Mirage mold. So I'm getting a $20 deluxe and a free Grimlock of sorts.
No, you're getting a $55 deluxe and a free Grimlock if you're going about it that way.
Dynanomics are involved.
I did. So on the subject of that Mirage, though, we were talking when it came up in the first place that there weren't ports on the shoulders anymore for the rocket launcher. I saw on Twitter, I don't remember who it was because I think it was like 2 a.m. But somebody had designed and 3D printed like clip-on adapters that fit on those transformation hinges, and they fit a 5mm port on top of those adapters. So it looked like a really simple thing. The picture I saw had it on in the vehicle mode too. It looked like it could just move with that transformation joint. So you clip it on and it just stays there. So if it's simple enough that somebody's already come up with this design, like I have no doubt we'll see all manner of aftermarket add-ons that do basically the same thing to suit whatever style and effort and price investment level you want to put into it. Like a non-F thing, I think is probably a good bet, and all those eBay sellers out of China that have all the add-on parts for literally everything. Like we'll see a bunch of that come out, and that will sort out at least one big problem I have with that mold. I'll pay, $6 or $10 to get that one thing fixed and not feel like I need to take the Siege Mirage and the new Mirage and cobble them together to make new Mirage. But nothing's going to help that Grimlock. So Nightsword pointed out to make sure I would be aware of this. On the subject of Sideswipe, we actually have information about that Retools redeco in the form of Red Alert. So Red Alert is coming out as a Walgreens exclusive in the US. The information which came through JT Prime on TFW has the release pointed at August of this year, but like the Walgreens exclusives never come out before October, so I wouldn't put too much into that.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah,
October into November is when we see those.
So Red Alert is coming to Walgreens this year as an exclusive under the code name Red White Emergency Lamborghini. So who knows? Maybe they lost Red Alert. Solid cases of 8, which goes along with being an exclusive. The way the suggested retail prices are trending, I wouldn't be surprised if Walgreens initially puts this out at like $25. Hopefully not. On the other hand, though, like my Red Alert also has a roof sticker on it, and I have a spoiler kit for it, so I don't know that I need this either. So actually, I do, because Siege Red Alert has Cybertron printing on it, and I don't care for that. So I guess I will get that at least for sure.
So, what makes my head hurt is
okay.
They obviously knew that they had this mold, ready to go. So why did we get 2 clamp downs at the same time off of the old mold?
Because
No, so it was rumored at one point that at least one of the clampdowns would be off the retooled version of the mold. It just didn't. end up
Yes, you
happening.
would expect that to happen.
I half wonder. So like T-Rex, the Kingdom T-Rex that's out now, obviously had the wrong head mold used. It's got the paint operation for the gridded teeth head. Just it's lipstick now instead of silver teeth. Like part of me does wonder if one of the clampdowns was supposed to be
Or
the
deep
Earth
cover. Sorry,
body.
deep cover.
Deep cover, yeah, we don't have a clamp down. I want a clamp down, but we don't have one. Part of me wonders though if that was supposed to be the Earth body and the factory screwed up and used the wrong half of the tooling and we got, siege parts instead. I've made Matt's head hurt more. Possibly, elevated blood pressure with just unbridled rage at the thought of this.
What
I
if
guess
red?
might be
What
the
if
selects?
what if red white emergency Lamborghini is actually clamped down and not red alert?
Ooh.
I was wondering.
I mean, is Clampdown white and red? I thought it was like
A lot.
blue.
A lot of his robot parts are red.
Okay, I'm on board. Like I'm 100% on board for adding a new character to the Generations lineup rather than getting a duplicate-ish red alert.
I mean, I'm sure it will be red alert, but it would be nice.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to having a year where I wouldn't have to go into Walgreens at least every other day in the hopes of seeing one of something on the shelf, since it's so hit or miss on them getting freight in.
I mean, occasionally you can catch the stuff on the Walgreens website, but that also lasts for about 15 minutes. And unless you buy half a case of shampoo with it, you're paying shipping charges on top of it. So, I mean, for some of you, the Walgreens thing isn't that big of a deal because you've got multiple within reasonable driving distance. I have one. Within 30 miles.
Yeah,
I have about 10.
Yeah.
Walgreens is the non-Starbucks equivalent.
Yeah, oddly, there's no Starbucks anywhere around here unless you count the one in the Target that's 45 minutes away from me. I'm in a Starbucks desert. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, so Geek Culture apparently got to do a preview, unboxing, and video coverage of Titan Class The Ark. So if I remember right, this is a group in Singapore that also got the first reveals of G2 Megatron and Sandstorm when those went up. So they have an article up with several photos they've taken, and they have a video linked in there. Overall, it looks pretty good in what's certainly the final production deco, paintwork, and everything. I do notice from these pictures that rather than the like bright saturated yellow or like semi-orange color that some of the stock photos made it look to be, this seems to be veering much more towards Sunstreaker's cheap American cheese. But like, as opposed to Sunstreaker, who I expect to be bright saturated yellow, I don't really mind that so much in the context of the Ark.
Yeah,
like
it looks okay. It looks like a very simple transformation. Like there's nothing that crazy going on with it, which is kind of surprising for that size of a figure.
I don't really know about that diecast because, like, think about Scorponok. That's not a complicated transformation. Omega Supreme parts form, so that removes some of the complication. Even Fortress Maximus, Metroplex, Trypticon, none of them have like really very difficult transformations. They do compare this directly to Unicron, the experience of transforming it, where Unicron took them the better part of a whole day, and the Ark is a quick like 24, 30 steps or something. I forget exactly what they said, but definitely kind of a night and day experience there. Also, there's a photo in there of one of the guys from the website holding the robot mode mainframe Teletran in his hand, and like it looks like that's on the large side for a deluxe. So it's not going to be something like where Scorponok's Zarok component was a little bit short compared to other contemporary deluxes, despite being pretty stocky with the headmaster parts. But this looks like it's going to be pretty big, and hopefully, since it transforms with most of its height intact for Teletran 1, it will still be tall enough for at least like deluxes to use and look not ridiculous with it. Voyagers may be out of luck, though, unfortunately. There is a height comparison with Scorponok. The Ark's robot mode looks to be a little bit shorter, and Scorponok looks a little bit bulkier too, but I think that's as much to do with just what Scorponok is supposed to look like as much as it is how the Ark is designed and maybe a little bit more slight.
Yeah, the Ark, they gave him a skinny waist.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely slims down in places. But I imagine a lot of that is also just in service of being able to have like a decent looking robot that turns into a proper Arc shape.
Yeah.
I think the important thing to see with this too is that there's like in the ship mode, there's not a lot of like big gaps or anything. The most prominent one seems to be on the navigation tower on top, where the backside of it's completely hollow, but like that's an easy thing to get a parts filler kit for later on.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some upgrade kits for this.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Oh, also, I don't know if we knew this before, but the Arc seems to have light piped eyes. It looks
Nice.
like it's that amber color. Like if you remember Fall of Cybertron Starscream, they had the amber light piped eyes that glowed so brightly under even indirect room lighting. I think it's something like that, and so that's going to be like a really, really nice looking effect. It's one of my
Nice.
favorite colors of light piping. I like blue light pipe dyes too, but like it's so easy for the blue to get so dense that the light can't actually get through it in a larger piece, and then it's just kind of a shame. What I really wish they'd bring back is the chrome plated eyes. That was a very uncommon thing. Notably, it appeared in car robots for Fire Convoy and Gigatron. I'm sure there was other applications of it too, but those are the ones that really stand out in my head. And it's a really neat effect when it's done decently, especially on Gigatron where it was chrome red. Fire Convoy had gold chrome eyes, which still look nice, but the chrome red eyes really popped on Gigatron. I'd really like to see that used again. But yeah, this initial coverage of the Arc, I'm looking forward to this toy coming out. It looks really nice, and I'm also looking forward to seeing what kind of add-on kits we get for it, because there's definitely room to expand on what this has done.
Yeah.
I
want a mountain. I want a mountain that this can just fit in. Is what I really want.
Okay, so what if the San Diego Comic-Con set this year comes in a box shaped like the side of the mountain? You can just like jam the Arc into it.
Oh, I would totally go for that.
I half expect like some third party company to make a new head and hands to make a animated Omega Supreme.
Ooh. Yeah.
No. They
or
can't
as
do
close
that.
as we'll ever get to an
I
animated
mean,
Omega
at the
Supreme.
same time, though, I feel like they can't do that because that might make Paladin slightly happy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's why I said they can't do that.
Hey, I'm trying to build his hopes up to be crushed later, okay?
Oh, sorry.
Even Paladin deserves a little happiness.
Says who?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay, so we've talked about official reveals that didn't get leaked. Now let's talk about a leak that happened. So we had our first look at Kingdom Road Rage today.
Which, I mean, we guessed would
looks
happen.
like tracks in red with a different head.
Yes, it does. All of those things are true. We had a listing from Target System within the last several weeks for Road Rage, so like we had confirmation that was coming. It's supposed to be a Target exclusive. What I'm hearing is that it's not going to be a red card thing like T-Rex is. So
But he's
anybody
red.
She
She.
is red.
Oh, she's red. I'm sorry.
But it's still going to be a Target exclusive and therefore a nightmare to try and obtain.
Yes, but you don't need like an extra step in the middle of that process to be able to obtain it. So it's at least slightly better. Maybe.
Marginally.
I don't know. Maybe the red card thing will
Fractionally.
Maybe the red card thing would be better to keep scalping down a little bit. Because if you need a red card for that, all those botnets that are hammering Target's website for exclusives when they go up probably won't have access to that necessarily. But yeah, I mean, we only see this in the robot mode, but like it looks good in the red. The colors aren't exactly accurate if you're going by like what the masterpiece looked like, but that seems to be down to how the mold is laid out.
Yeah.
So those things happen,
especially in this class.
Well, yeah, there's only so many parts to work with, and they have to get mixed together on X number of screws.
Yeah.
That's one reason we get things with regrettable uses of clear plastic. Like clear plastic has to have its own dedicated parts tree, and if they need to move some parts off of another tree onto one that has some space left, the clear parts tree is probably going to have some space left on it, unfortunately.
Or they could just not make clear
use
parts
clear
trees.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Bandai years ago who could do like 3 different colors on one parts tree.
Yes.
Like they don't. I wish Hasbro could get that because that would help with these problems.
I get the impression that technology is kind of a trade secret to Bandai. I don't think
Bandai
they
magic.
actually. Mm-hmm.
And like, even if it's not a trade secret where nobody else knows how it works, Bandai may have that process patented.
Yeah.
And like, yes, maybe you could reverse engineer that to work to have the same result, but work in a different way where Bandai can't like find out about it and say you stole our process. But that's asking a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, and given that Hasbro seems to work at a whole bunch of factories in a whole bunch of different places, I'm betting also that they're factories they don't necessarily own. So,
oh no, no. So what we've heard over the years from various sources of varying credibility, that Hasbro and Takara don't own any factories. It's all contracted and leased time on existing factories in whatever places that they're having stuff produced. And from what I recall, it's mostly Takara that has the factory contacts. So they're the ones that actually like arrange all of this to do Hasbro's bidding, basically.
Seems like so. Takara does a lot of the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what both sides contribute matters equally, I would say, because, like, for a lot of it, I think it comes down to Hasbro does a lot of the, what I will call cosmetic design of the toys. So the look and feel and the character that goes into them, I think a lot of that Hasbro's people are responsible for. And then all the like practical side of it, the things that actually make the toys work and the manufacturing, a lot of that comes down to Takara's side of it.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that Takara does that is really vital to these, but there's also a lot that Hasbro puts in that makes the toys what they are in their own way. I've found in the last year or so with the live streams, which have a more relaxed and slightly off the cuff attitude for some of the time, that the Takara side of it is getting more of the due credit that it should. But for a long time, like that was something that was kind of just left on the side of things while Hasbro's people at the conventions or whatever were kind of playing up that this is our thing and this is all us. So I'm glad to see that attitude has kind of shifted, and now it's more acknowledgement to what the folks in Japan are putting into it too. That's one thing I hope continues. Like why I hope the online stuff, the streams continue, just because like there's definitely a different feel to the interactions and presentations with that than the in-person events, where if you're lucky, you can get like the Mark Webber experience every once in a while, where you just stand around and talk about mostly nothing, but also little bits and pieces of the toy design part of it, and just have him completely off the rails. That was brilliant. I loved that experience. But a lot of it is, the reps that are there through the PR people and the people back at the home office that, be very careful how and what you talk about. They're a lot more like on a leash with how they interact with the fans. So the Mark Webber experience is rare, and mostly it's just like toe the company line. So like the streams don't seem to have that problem in the same way, and I would like that attitude and feeling to continue. Now maybe for the reveal streams where they're very obviously reading off scripts, practice a little more. I have no problem with reading off scripts. I do it all the time, but just learn to sound more natural is pretty much all I'm asking.
Yeah. How do you get to Mount St. Hillary? Practice, practice, practice.
Okay. So anyway, Road Rage. So
Right, where's my loud pedal?
Yeah, hopefully there's a third head, because like you need the Diaclone specific head for that. No, loud pedal is definitely something I want to see come off of this. Like, it's a very good selects opportunity. I mean, it's there's a masterpiece of it. I don't think it's something that they would pass up getting a third use of this mold out of. Especially since next year's generation line is supposed to be just like a little bit of everything. There would still definitely be room for that.
It's a Decepticon, and they need more of those.
Yes, always. And like it's another one of those deep cut things like the Hasbro team likes at this point, because the origins of Loud Pedal are just kind of ridiculous. Because if I remember right, there wasn't a Diaclone black Corvette. It was the European import of Diaclone, sold through I think a Finnish store. It's like the most obscure rare thing. Takara knew about it, made a masterpiece based off of it, and gave it a name. And now we have Loud Pedal, and I want more of this.
Yes.
I want more Loud Pedal in my life. But not when I'm driving. Please drive safely around me, and in general.
It needs more Loud Pedal.
That's supposed to be like needs more cowbell. Right. Anyway, shoot, I was about to start on something else that's not in the show notes, and I don't remember now because you said Loud Pedal. Damn it, Matt. What were we talking about before?
Oh. I don't know. You were closing your thoughts on Road Rage, and I
know.
In.
So, in our Discord, someone pointed out yesterday, I think, GameStop's website updated their pre-orders for Trax and Wingfinger and Scorponok, indicating that they would be in stock on June 18th. So that might be something to keep an eye on if you're anxious to get some Wave 3 toys in. Now, personally, I'm not intending to pay full deluxe price for Scorponok. I'll pick that up at some later point, maybe. I'm not like super thrilled with that. But for Wingfinger and Trax, yeah, I will definitely keep that in mind. Because June 18th is certainly better than the September that Amazon currently still says, and probably later other places. I know Pulse's dates have been trending later than a lot of the other retailers. Of course, Big Bad Toy Store got in a small quantity of Galvatron last week, like 3 months ahead of their schedule too. So there's no telling when some of this stuff could just start dropping out of nowhere. Rhinox was found in Arizona at a Target. Like, Wave 3 is, at the tipping point right now. So it's just a matter of like who blinks first, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget, Chris, as far as that Trax mold, they can always do a yellow Trax.
I would also be about that. I would hope they would, build a character for it, by which I mean, come up with a unique name, because we don't have like bios or anything printed on the packaging anymore. So we don't get any characters anymore. We just get toys in colors. But yes, a yellow tracks, I would be about that.
Would that be an alternators reference?
It
Yes.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hasbro's first version of tracks, I think, came out in yellow.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe they did subsequently release a blue tracks, I think, when they switched to the bubble top packaging.
Yes.
Yeah, Takara did their Binotech in blue because the metal in the figure would hold the. It was something about they couldn't get the blue right on the U.S. version, but the Binotech version came out properly, and then they went back and did it for the U.S. I believe that's what happened.
I mean, parts of that sound familiar and correct. I just don't remember if that's the correct sequence of events or if any of the details are actually right. No, there definitely was some kind of problem that happened in terms of getting the color to look right on the first pressing of tracks. I just don't remember how that was resolved ultimately, and like, I know we got both colors of tracks. It's just kind of like how and why that were the up in the air points. But yeah, like, I also wanted like an alternators referencing smokescreen, because even setting aside the racing decals, like the base colors of alternator smokescreen differ enough from G1 smokescreen that it would be an interesting different take. Also,
I
not
still
an
need my
alternate-
blue streak.
I was gonna say, not an alternators reference, but give me a damn blue streak already. But I mean, I like that Earthrise Dotson mold so much. Like, just keep giving me recolors of that as more things. Like, I will happily continue buying that in more decos.
And like Mirage, ditch the clear plastic.
Yeah, I mean, I have no particular love for the use of clear plastic on that. It's not as bad as, say, Studio Series Jazz, but it's not great. Like, I haven't heard of anybody's Earthrise Dotsons having their knees break yet. Yet.
Give it time.
No, I'd be on board for an all opaque plastic Dotson, also with, like, silver painted windows. Or black, silver or black. The thing I hate about painted windows is just when they get done in blue, because it doesn't look natural. Because, even when you got a real car out on a blue sky day, the windows still don't look blue. It's not how the reflections work, if there are reflections. So give me tinted windows or just give me silver. Like, one or the other is fine. So our last item in the news this week, at least as far as the show notes goes, is an interesting one. So there's Beast Wars Megatron and Optimus Primal soft vinyl figures from a Japanese company called QD1. These are very, very stylistic, let's say. So these are coming in at about $50 each. I don't know how big they're supposed to be. But they're just robot mode figurines. I don't think they're posable in any sense. Like, I don't even think the arms move. They're kind of super deformed style, but also kind of like, the best way I can think to describe them is like if somebody designed a plush, but then made a vinyl figure and just like printed all of the plush characteristics onto it.
They're like Little Big Planet figures. They have stitching and a zipper for a mouth, and it's very, very strange.
Like, that doesn't appeal to me, but I see what they were going for.
I don't.
I'm mostly just amused that these exist, even if I'm like very disturbed by looking at them. Certainly, I would not pay $50 plus shipping from Japan to have one of these, or either. I am curious how big they're supposed to be, though. Like, there's not really any information about that. I mean, probably not very big. Soft vinyl figures usually don't do more than 4 or 5 inches on average. Like there are exceptions like Sentinel's gigantic action Scorponok and Black Zarok, which were vinyl figures and were like 2 feet tall. Brian would of course chime in here if he was here this week because he has one of those figures from HLJ's clearance sale many years ago. I think they were clearance to such a point then that the shipping on them actually was more than the price of the figure itself.
Not surprising.
Oh yeah, you gotta think like a 2 foot tall vinyl figure being shipped from Japan would cost quite a bit, just in like the quote unquote dimensional weight alone.
Yeah.
These are supposed to come out June of next year, so if you're interested in these, it looks like you have plenty of time to find a pre-order somewhere. I guess this is related to Prime One Studio, which they're one of the outfits that makes all those statues that we don't understand who buys. Guess we can just throw this in as another thing we don't understand who buys it. All right. Well, that would seem to do it for the news this week. So Don, what did you get this week?
All righty. Well, off topic, I've got something I didn't even know existed. We all know that I'm kind of a fan of the Fox Kids Spider-Man series, and I did not know they did this, but it is a Diamond Select bust of the animated Spider-Man.
How can you tell?
Which the way the spider emblem is done, that's a little different than normal. Plus the overall general the line work, the webbing on the outfit, and the color palette is usually his blues are a lot darker in most cases. I'm by no means a Spider-Man expert, but I'm just saying it's more the overall design motif. The eyes are slightly different because of the animated look, and he's like mid motion with the flipping. But again, this was the only one that I saw at Walmart. There's like 4 Deadpools. There's done in the same animated style. There's also apparently, I did not know this, there's a line of X-Men busts from the animated series. They had Unmasked Wolverine, which I didn't care anything for, but this was it was an impulse purchase, but it was the only one they had, and I really liked the way it turned out looking as far as the animated series. On topic, I had the $5 reward points at GameStop for being a pro member was running out on the end of the month. So even though it's a little damaged, I picked up that Perceptor, the reaction Perceptor, because the damage really isn't over the character art; it's off to the side. So it still looks pretty good, and I got it for like $8. So that's about half price. So I mean, that would still look good on the wall.
$8 is about what I would pay for one of those too.
Yeah. But the big thing I got this week is one of the reasons I was selling off things, and one of the reasons I sold off my BotCon set to Brian. The rest of I've got other stuff incoming and just didn't make it because of the holidays. But I now have the last Fans Toys Dinobot, Red Snarl.
Nice.
So I now have all 3 of their released G2 Dinobots. So if they do release the Sludge and Swoop in those the G2 colors that were never produced, I'll have a full set of G2 Dinobots. So,
okay, so it's the last one because it finishes your set. I thought you got that one and then went around and destroyed every other one in the world so that you would have the only one.
No, that's something I might would do at some point.
I'm considerably less impressed now, Don.
I'm sorry. No, but I mean, they did do like a metallic version and a black version that was a show exclusive or something, which I don't really care about. But I'm just really glad because that's something that had always really been in the back of my head. It's like I want the G2 Dinobots, but it's Fans Toys. So it's like it's not something I could just I want to get that one and that one and that one, and I had Dynamics on it, but I'm really happy to have all 3 of the released G2 Dinobots at this point.
Good. Anything else?
No, it was a very light week. Like I said, everything else I bought from the sales of that I was doing is still in limbo between here and China.
Oh, don't you just hate when that happens?
Yeah.
I'm sure Diecast hates that too. So, Rob, what did you get this week?
Nothing.
Oh, that's how anticlimactic. Matt.
So I did get one thing. I found the Netflix, the DCS drone, and immediately took all the battle damage paint off of him because it looked terrible.
Okay.
And repainted it. And I have a quasi black Ironhide now.
Ooh,
I'm
nice.
not really happy with how this turned out because, like you mentioned, Chris, it's the blue windshield.
Mhm.
But you gave me an idea, and I think I may strip all that off and paint that silver, and then the outline around it black.
Mhm.
And I think that will help because it just feels like the black is too broken up on him
Yeah, I can
as
see
he is
that.
now. But like his forearms here are not black plastic; they are heavily painted black. So I could not remove the battle damage from them, so I just had to add another coat of black over top of it.
Ah.
But his legs have been completely stripped off, and I re-added the silver to his kneecaps there. His head was clean to begin with,
That's
but
good.
yeah, it's such a good toy. But yeah, I think I'll like it even better after I repaint that windshield. And luckily, this comes apart very easily for painting. So
Just be careful trying to strip the paint from the clear plastic because that's apparently problematic and a recipe for disaster if not done very carefully.
indeed. So, like, the silver's not a problem because I just basically added a coat of silver over top of what was already there. I probably won't need to strip that. I just need to get some of this blue off.
Yeah.
Or at least rough it up with a little bit of like a sanding block or something so I can give it a surface to hold new paint over top of it. But
That
I
would be a
also
safer way to go.
Yeah, I also swapped out some parts on him because he had black hands and black tires originally. And I did want to break it up a little bit more. So my Siege Ironhide was already kind of Frankenstein between that and the Earthrise one because the mismatched reds. So I'm not sure anymore which hands these originally or which toy these hands originally came on, but they're on my black Ironhide now.
It looks like the Earthrise Ironhide's hands were originally pretty much black, very, very dark gray. Same as the tires. So those might have been the Siege original parts.
Yes, but that's where his tires came from as well. But yeah, he's almost out. Like, I'm not a customizer by any stretch of the imagination, and this blue paint is rough anyway because I'm not a customizer. I don't have an air gun like to spray, so I use brushes. So yeah, I was kind of looking for a reason to fix that blue paint anyway.
Yeah,
it bothers me.
I saw this wave of Netflix figures last week, including a DCS Army drone, and boy, was I not impressed.
Yes, but he's way better once you take some of that battle damage off.
But you know me, and you know that I'm not willing to put in that level of effort.
Well, just for a slight comparison, here is the DCS drone, at least in vehicle mode, so you can see.
Yes, yes. There's the before and after on the leg section.
Yeah. Distinct improvement.
Yes. But that is all I got this week.
John DeLuna, are you with us?
Yeah, the only thing I got real quick was the and I haven't opened it yet, was the DK20 kit for Devastator, the Studio Series Devastator. And yes, it is the first run, which comes with 2 wrecking balls. That is what they are. That is all they are. But it that is a fact. It comes with 2 wrecking balls. And then it also comes with some extra kibble to just kind of beef up and fill out Studio Series Devastator. I am kind of off my high of getting 3D printed and third-party upgrade kits from probably like 6 months ago when I was just buying everything in sight. I still really like them, but I'm picking my shots now, especially in light of like, Hasbro doing stuff like Earth Sideswipe, where approximately 10,000 spoilers have been sold on eBay for the Cybertron Sideswipe, and those spoilers do not fit this Earth mode Sideswipe or anything else that they'll do with this mold, which is hilarious and tragic at the same time. Anyway, so Transformers related, that's all I got was that upgrade kit. So I'll put it on sometime this week and give a mini report next week on it. I'm sure it'll be nice. And then the one off-topic thing I got was slightly off-topic. Is I got another Toy Fair catalog to throw on the pile, and this one's pretty sweet. It's a Mattel Toy Fair catalog, but it's 1985. So anything from 83 to 87, I would say, is for any company, but especially Hasbro, Mattel, is highly prized. So I got to check that one off my list, and of course that's Prime He-Man years, and yeah, so I'm happy about that, and really that's about it for this week.
Quite an interesting flex too. Got another Toy Fair catalog to throw on the pile.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. At some point, these will be digitized. But yeah, that one is, like I said, that one's really nice. And I know other people are doing archival projects, and that's great. It's because I think the more scans and the more archives we can have of even the same documents is good, because for all we know, God help us if there are variants of these catalogs that we end up discovering just by looking at each other's scans. But yeah, it's always good to like pick up, like I said, anything from the mid 80s is really hard to find. And then I probably said it before, if it's Kenner, anything with Star Wars, a whiff of Star Wars in it, it goes for huge bucks still. So anyway, that's it for me this week.
Well, I don't have anything worth talking about. So I guess we have to let Diecast talk about whatever thing he got.
So I got something for my Unicron shelf, which I'm really excited for. And it's not, as big as HasLab Unicron, but it is the little new age Galvatron.
Oh, very nice.
That is in
The original Grand Galvatron.
Yeah, that's in the Unicron, which is just it's so awesome. And I'm so happy to be able to put this on a Unicron shelf whenever I set one up. I didn't know I was going to get this accessory. I saw it in some promotional images, but nothing really made sense if it was actually going to come with it or not. I don't know if it was a pre-order bonus or you had to get the metallic one to get it. I have no idea, but when I opened my box of Taobao, this was in a separate bag in the box, just a plastic baggie, and I was so excited just because I didn't know that I was actually going to get this Unicron shell. So it worked out. It was a nice, surprise.
Yeah, that sounds like a first run bonus kind of thing, packed in a baggie like that.
Yeah, but being that I ordered it from Taobao, I really couldn't tell if I was going to get it or not. I also got, and I apologize because none of these are open, but I got the Fuzz, which is the X-Transbots. Streetwise, yeah.
Oh.
So I got that. Box feels pretty heavy for MMC style.
It's full of cocaine.
I got this, which Don and I were talking about last week. I forget its name.
Who makes it?
Yeah,
MMC.
It's Mastermind Star Convoy. We're just trying to figure out what the code name is.
Delurus Promenon, maybe?
Prominion.
Yeah, Prominion something. The only thing is, and Don was mentioning this, that the legs like slide up and down really easy, so it's really easy to set him down and his leg just collapse on you.
That's not good.
Yeah,
No.
but the thing that reminded me of was Titanium Soundwave when I saw that mentioned a lot.
That's kind of surprising for Mastermind. Their quality is usually pretty good.
Probably their next thing will have, fixed parts for that.
It needs it, that's for sure.
I mean, it looks great, but it's like I don't need a new Star Convoy that bad with Red Snarl here. Like Star Convoy, Dinobot. That's which one I picked.
So now the vitally important question, Diecast, how breakable is that gold star in the chest?
It is not. It is not breakable because it is part of the chest. It doesn't open or anything. It's actually a separate piece, which I guess is how they painted it gold, but it is stuck on the chest where it's not gonna move. So,
don't try too hard.
That is the standard now by which we measure Star Convoys. How breakable is that gold star?
Yeah, and I don't have a Star Convoy, and this just kind of, I just liked the aesthetic of it, so that's why I decided to get it.
Did you never get a select Star Convoy?
I never did.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you sure he's just not on the bottom of that pile somewhere?
Right.
Yeah. I know I didn't pick him up because I usually buy everything, and that was the one that I was like, I don't really need it.
Did you get a Super Megatron?
Yes.
Well, that was a good decision at least.
Yeah. If you buy from Taobao, your stuff gets opened. I think as it goes through customs, maybe. But I also got a Magic Square Motormaster with the trailer.
Oh God! I saw the pictures that was posted where he doesn't have to be boxed legs with cars stuck on back. You can actually have the cars on front, like Minosaur is supposed to have, and it's like, oh, that made it so much more tempting.
And I like what they did. I mean, I know why they did it because it's, legend scale or whatever you want to call it, but they got 2 figures in a pack. Motormaster was by himself, and then you got another 2 figures in a pack. So it's not like I have to buy 5. I'm actually only buying 3. It just seems so much better compared to like when we buy Masterpiece bots and we have to buy 5 individual and then another set just to combine them all, or another trailer.
The X-Trans bots issue. Yeah, because Matt, that was a set that you just gave up on, right? That you just
It makes me love.
Luckily, the individual
miners.
robots look good. So,
well, Matt, I did see a pretty good price on the trailer for like $173. Is that?
No, that's not a pretty good price, Don.
Well, I mean, compared to the 220. I mean, compared to the 220 anyway.
What I'm expecting,
I saw it as well.
What I'm expecting with this is that once Matt can finally go to a TFCon again, he's just going to impulse purchase a trailer in the dealer room.
Probably.
No, but if they ever release the G2 Minosaur or the G2 Motormaster colored one, that I will buy to finish that team, but I'm still not buying the trailers. They can go to hell.
Yeah. And well, now one thing, Diecast, they're also doing Constructicons. I like the way they look, but I'm not going to buy them. Are you getting the Constructicons though?
I wasn't gonna, just because I don't know. I didn't think I needed a Devastator in that size, but I could be wrong.
Is that the ones where
I think you are wrong.
Is that the ones with the stock photos that came out a few days ago and they have the trumpets?
Yeah.
Okay, see, my prediction is when Diecast gets to go to a TFCon, he will impulse buy the Constructicons.
Yeah, well, it's not hard to predict that Diecast will impulse buy something.
I mean, I'll be honest, if I will probably hold out. See, I'm still waiting for Toy World to release that clear orange set that's been on, or I've had on order at Big Bad for almost a year now. Again, I'm still holding a hope on that one, but I will probably wait and get the orange set if they do it in the Magic Square set.
And then Don, I'm trying to unwrap this real quick. Um, because I want the full effect.
Okay, so we haven't gotten to the really good thing yet. Oh,
But-
quote unquote.
I will raise your Dinobot with a bigger Dinobot.
It's Gigapower. That doesn't count.
It does. They are nice Dinobots.
They are. It's just they're just.
Don't you already have the fans toys ones? Like all of them?
Yeah, and that's why that now these are getting really released. I was like, well, I was already in on the fans toys first before these came out, and I couldn't do both.
Is the Gigapower one of the ones that combines?
No. The Gigapower is actually even bigger than the fans toys. Because like, hang on, this is him. Hang on a second. Let me get the figure.
Or a banana. Universal unit of measurement, the banana.
Yeah.
So for those not watching the video, Don's holding up the DC's Army drone, which is a Siege Ironhide recolor next to his Red Snarl, and Red Snarl's about twice as tall and like 4 times as chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Gigapower.
Descriptive audio service here for our majority audience.
So Gigapower is even bigger. So
Yeah.
I already have the Grimlock because the Grimlock came out last, and I was like, yeah, I love Grimlock, so I got to get that. So I'm like, now that they're reissuing the other ones, I might as well get the other, 3.
I guess I'm willing to call it a tie. I'm willing to call it a tie.
But yeah, that was my big backs of Taobao this week.
I guess it wouldn't have been so big if not for that big dinosaur.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Because it wasn't like a lot of things. It's just that last one was pretty big.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Blade Raider said you should have used the Bot banana for scale.
There's a Bot banana?
Evidently, I don't remember offhand. I mean,
Yeah,
you can get one of those,
it slipped his mind.
you could get one of those Fortnite banana figures and use that as a substitute.
I do have the Fortnite banana that has the stage with the rotating guns and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen that a couple times, like on Amazon, pretty cheap. If it was built for 6-inch scale, I would totally have gotten one, but I don't have enough stuff.
Thought it was.
Yeah, no, it's the 4-inch scale, and I don't have enough
Yeah.
stuff in 4-inch scale to make that be useful.
Well, I can use GI Joes, I guess.
Yeah, you have GI Joes. I don't go in for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could put Legend Starscream in there or something, but that's just starting to get a little weird. I mean, I guess we started out weird having bananas in a library with a secret exit.
There is a banana, but Blade Raider put a photo of it. I've never seen that bot.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
Huh.
and he's not in pajamas either.
Did we
Yeah,
get a basketball and I didn't even realize it because that's what I keep asking for from.
No, there's no
Bot
basketball yet
bots.
that I know of.
Oh,
Kilby
if
would have
if-
let us know by now.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
that's ever gonna die, they need to do a basketball before it dies.
Yeah, I mean they should, but at least we're getting a basketball accessory with the Super 7 Optimus Prime, I think.
Yeah, but it's not a bot's basketball, so it
It's
doesn't
not,
count.
but at least it finally satisfies that whole basketball hand accessory thing that Kilby's been on about since literally 2001 when the Mega SCF concept art was posted.
Or that could just be the one line that Hasbro won't cross ever. Like, I'll get my Seacons and Don will get his Headmaster his Headmaster RC and Masterpiece, and Diecast will get his Unicron and Kilby will get his Big Daddies, but we cannot have a basketball.
No,
But
no. The
it's
line,
something.
the line in the sand, Matt, are the Transformers Weeble Wobbles. That's the line in the
Yeah,
sand.
yeah, that too.
It's something I
I'm
talked to Hasbro about whenever BotBots was like first at Toy Fair, or it might have been. I know they at least had the rubber ducky, and I was like, so we're getting like BotBots now that kind of fit in with the G1 lore, or can be companion pieces for Transformers. I was like, can we get a basketball for Optimus Prime, because that's a no-brainer. And they were like, that's a great idea. And then nothing.
maybe someday.
Maybe someday. But that was like 3-4 years ago, it feels like. So
I think it was year before last. Because
Was it that?
the rubber ducky was the same year that Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron came out. I think that was that 2019 or 2018?
I think it was 2018.
Damn, I'm old.
Yep.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, God, they should have took my idea and ran with it.
Well, I'm still waiting for Submarine Megatron to happen, and John Warden's off Transformers now, so that probably put the nail in that thing's coffin.
Yeah. Submarine Megatron was a good one too.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities.
Oh, Blade Runner said it was 2019, so hooray, I was right. So that would have been the oh no, you got to go to Toy Fair in 2020 because things weren't on fire entirely yet.
Yeah, I missed this year.
Yeah. Well, everybody did. They didn't have a
Everybody
Toy Fair
did,
this year.
Well, yeah. It's hard to keep track in my mind of. It feels like I've been out of touch for so long.
You have, Diecast. You've been out of touch since I've known you. Also, the last 18 months, time has had virtually no meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So, Don, are you gonna get that alien attack figure?
Which alien attack figure?
I put it in the show notes. As
Don doesn't look at the show notes. He tries to keep his number of tabs down.
Don's new pre-order.
No, I am not, and you
I don't
shouldn't either.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna tell nobody their business, but it does skirt the sexy Windblade issue.
Yeah, I didn't even put that new Windblade.
I think it beats
Oh,
the
no.
Windblade over the head with a baseball bat.
I didn't even put that new Windblade statue in the show notes. Let's just get rid of that. Well, we don't need Kilby to come along later and look at the show notes and thinks, he maybe needs to keep that in there because we actually talked about it, because I'm declaring that we didn't.
Yeah. I was shocked by this. I mean, and the fact that it comes with an extra full figured girl, I would say.
So anyway, great. No, see, I didn't want to talk about that Windblade statue for basically the same reason. So we're not going any farther with this. We're going to talk about BotBots now.
Yeah, well, BotBots are much more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah. I really hope sometime soon we see toy pictures of those BotBot vehicles we had the advertising art for a few weeks ago.
Yes. I'm so interested in them. I hope we can get them maybe in a store, or they need to do an event to be like, these are now available on Amazon.
Yeah.
Just because I need to know when to go purchase these.
Okay, Don's dying of some joke that only he knows right now, so I think we need to let him release that.
Shattered glass BotBots.
Is that the entirety of the joke, Don? Because
I'm sorry, it's such an insane concept of BotBots, and then do shattered glass, just for the sheer absurdity of it.
I guess he had to be there. Meanwhile, on our Discord, Blade Raider is posting pictures of the BotBots rubber ducky, and I'm all about this kind of content. If you like this kind of content and you'd like to watch along with other members of our Discord audience and interact with us on the show, go to tfradio.net/Discord to join our Discord server. You don't even have to install any software. It will run right in your browser. And actually, I learned just the other day that at least the Windows Discord client is just a copy of Chrome designed to only load Discord. So yeah, it the whole thing is just browser based. It's just they let you download a dedicated browser that does nothing but go to Discord, which is kind of like how TweetDeck as a desktop application worked in its final iterations, where it was just a really, really badly designed browser application that only loaded the one page. Blade Raider is now posting pictures of Transformers turned into toilets, and I'm less about this content. Poor Short Round. Man, we got a Transformer once called Short Round. How the heck did that happen?
At least he's not as divisive as the original Short Round.
I suppose. Also, now we have a Sharkticon with a hat, and I approve. So yes, I think at this point we've pretty much exhausted the news and what we've got and everything worth talking about. So I will just throw again to our Patreon, patreon.com/tfradio if you'd like to help support the show and get access to some exclusive content. tfradio.net/Amazon to support us passively while you buy things you would buy anyway. And Prime Day is coming up in a few weeks. So when you're buying special things that are on sale to, some negligible degree, think of us then too and use our affiliate link to help keep us going and pay nothing extra. And at some point, John will have some more new designs that he has in the works for the t-shirt store. And apparently there will be some sales this month too. So keep an eye out for that. tfradio.net/shirt. Brian Kilby, of course, is not here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be hosting the show and we'd all probably be having a better time. Actually, no. If Kilby was here this week, we would still be in the middle of what he got because Kilby gets bigger piles week to week now than Diecast does.
Imagine what he's going to have waiting when he gets back from vacation.
I know. I was just thinking about that. Like, he's probably not buying a bunch of stuff right now while he's on vacation because they're apparently staying in some tiny house and there wouldn't be room for him to have it anyway. But yeah, there's no telling what's piling up at his door even as we speak that he purchased in the meantime. I guess he could be online shopping and just,
Oh yes, he can still be buying. He just has to wait to get home to get it.
Yeah, it's just like, in this case, he wouldn't be going to McKay's or whatever and getting cartfuls of random crap because there's nowhere to go with it right now. Although, I think he's in South Carolina, and there was that comic book store he was telling us about last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if he made a side trip to that, and maybe we'll have some results from that next week. So basically, on next week's show, get comfortable because Brian's probably going to have a lot of what he got.
And even if he hadn't been planning on it, you just put the idea in his head. So it will probably happen now.
I mean, assuming he's even trying to listen to the show.
I mean, he probably will eventually.
I was going to say, there's no guarantee that he'll even listen to it when he goes to post the podcast version.
We'll just tell him we were talking about him, and of course he'll listen to it. That's how it works.
I could just email him after and say, Diecast swore at one point, but I don't remember exactly where. Then he'll have to listen to the whole show to find where that happened. And he'll probably be pissed at the end of that Diecast didn't swear, and he had to listen to the whole show. But then he'll hear this part and, wait, this seems self-defeating.
Do you want me to swear just to make
No!
No.
Damn it, Diecast. Anyway, it's time to thank our patrons at the touched level. Every week we especially acknowledge our patrons who are at the touch tier with a special shout out. Of course, we love and are thankful for all of our patrons at any tier. You literally keep us going. You keep making this possible. So if you would like a shout out on the show, please consider, if you can responsibly do so, joining us at the touch tier, which I think is actually, I have no idea off the top of my head what it is, and I don't want to misrepresent it, so I'm not going to say what I think it costs, but I'm sure it's worth it no matter what it is, because not only do you get exclusive podcast content for being a patron, if you're a touch patron, you can be on a podcast. And honestly, that's priceless, that experience. So I'd like to thank our Touch patrons, Kevin Dorsey, Ryan Bona, Cheesy Patty, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Jonathan James, Nathan Sampy, Ness, Joey Russell, Jason Hiley, Mike Mallory, Jason W. Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lutia, Sean Bratton, Spider Bob, Mighty Orbots, Nataku 117, and Black and White, now in color. Thank you all for being our Touch patrons and helping to keep the show going. Thank you to all of our patrons for helping to keep us a show going out on the internet, at least on weeks so we don't have to rely on Diecast to record our audio. Pray for history on the fives this week, is all I'm saying.
Yep.
Brian Kilby can be found on Twitter at bkilby or briankilby.com, where he has his menagerie of horrors. John DeLuna, how do people find you?
That's easy. They can find me anywhere using the handle that John D, including Twitch, which I continue to work on. And I don't know, guys, depending on if my children behave. That's not fair. Yeah, I guess it's fair. I'll blame my kids. Depending on their behavior next week, I may or may not flip on the webcam as a test. And yeah, you can see my not so pretty face. And that'll be our dry run for the old Twitcheroo.
So if that works out, how long until you switch over to like hot tub webcam?
Oh, man, somebody knows Twitch trends in this room. Somebody knows how to get 20,000 people to watch.
I'm not proud.
Well, you're not alone either. There's like 600,000 people watching a hot tub stream right now.
Oh no, I don't
somewhere.
watch. I just know about it, and I'm not proud of knowing about it.
They're unavoidable. Unavoidable. Yeah, it's like rain. You can't avoid it. It's just nature.
The only thing I regularly watch on Twitch is the like 5-follower channel of one of the editors of a YouTube channel I watch.
Okay, sure.
So
yeah, no, sure.
And he does not edit from a hot tub.
Or just like have like a wheel of like options is like, what am I going to do next, guys? And there's 50,000 people watching. I'm going to spin my wheel. Anyway, no XV, that's not going to happen in the near future. I feel confident in that.
Is that just because you have no hot tub?
Yeah, first I got to procure the hot tub and dump the kids. And yes, and figure out a story for my wife. So a lot of things have to fall into place. Anyway, it's going to be much easier for me to actually hop on and knock around in Street Fighter or graphic design or something. But yeah, that's coming. And like I said, next week, if my children are compliant, I will be on camera during this show. So yeah,
you stream doing graphic design stuff?
That's one of the things that I'll stream. Like there's no, I don't think there's anything wrong with just flipping on the camera and sharing my screen as I piddle in the garden, So
yeah, no, I mean, a lot of artists do exactly that. They probably describe it a little bit differently, but yeah, they do exactly that. No, I hadn't considered you streaming your graphic design work. I just figured, Street Fighter, because you're a Street Fighter friend, John.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Just real quick. If you don't know, and if you have a PS4, Virtua Fighter 5 was re-released. It is free if you have a PS Plus account. So for $0, I can't recommend a game enough. So give it a try. And it's a 3D fighting game, which I'm semi-allergic to, but I know Brian Kilby loves them. So when he gets back from vacation, I'm sure he's going to mash that download button.
My favorite 3D fighting game is Beast Wars Transmetals on the Sony PlayStation.
Okay, yes. It's very on brand, XP. Very on brand.
Yes. Rob Clay.
Yeah. I can be found on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the Twitter account for Flail Throughs, which is my YouTube channel where I cover Gundam Battle Operation 2 still mostly. Just had a big space event this last week, which I struggled my way through and got the fancy new Gelgoog, which is really nice. And if you like what I'm doing there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can throw money at me and I will produce rounds in return. And if you'd rather just throw things at me, there's tfradio.net/playlist. I just wanted to mention, you said earlier, if you wanted to support us passively, you could use the tfradio.net/Amazon link. If you want to support us passive aggressively, there are gag gifts on Don's Amazon wish list over at tfradio.net/Massey Attack.
That's tfradio.net/Massey Attack, which I'm reiterating because you kind of clipped out on my side. So just in case that's
Oops.
out when
Thank
you
you.
stream. Yeah. I'm sure we would have got around to that anyway, but I'm glad you decided to point that out. It was a very good transition off of the passive support, because I like the passive aggressive support as a concept.
Yeah, I figured that would be a good way to go with it.
So Don, if in addition to passive aggressively supporting you, people want to passive aggressively follow you, where would they go about doing that?
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. In addition to the Massey Attack list, there will be a wedding list going up on Amazon sooner or later. Small things we'll need for the wedding, because for those of you who may not know, I am now engaged, and I will be getting married in October of 2022, when the world is hopefully slightly less on fire. So there's that. So, yeah, that's where I can be found, mostly on Twitter, but you can also check the Massey Attack list and the upcoming wedding list as well.
Diecast.
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. You can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast, and you can also see all my reviews on tfradio.net/reviews.
Cool. Rob Springer, of course, is not with us week to week, but Rob's always in our hearts. You can find him on Twitter at RoboRobSpringer. And you can find all of the many and varied things he does, including a podcast at zonebase.org. Like, literally, you just will have no idea one week to the next or one day to the next what he's going to post on there. And it's a wild ride, but in the best possible way. Like, it's never boring is the thing. Like, there's always going to be something different and interesting on there. Especially when it gets around Halloween time. Rob loves him some Halloween. I can be found on Twitter personally at ChrisRTXV. I've recently been able to start watching Babylon 5 again, so every once in a while there's some tweets related to that. And since it's been like a year and a half since the last time I watched it, like I won't say like all things old or new to me again, but like a lot of the experience feels pretty fresh, and it's kind of fun to share some of the more amusing insights that you get from that. For my toy photography work, of course, a lot of that is collected at playwithphotography.com. There's galleries and articles and such like that there. On social media, I'm on Instagram. Not that I get a lot of engagement there. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I just can't, like, I post the same stuff to Twitter and Instagram and get a lot of traction on Twitter, but basically nothing on Instagram. And I don't really understand Instagram that much, so I'm not like bothered by that per se. I'm not insulted that I don't have a following on Instagram. It's just confusing how it's worked out. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, which I won't complain about, that's at Play with Photography. On Twitter, it's at Play with Photos. Either way, though, you'll get a random smattering of photos just like whenever the mood strikes me, or like I have something kind of cool to share. Like among some of the things I've put up recently is the BotCon 2013 Obsidian and Strika beautiful toys. I had that Unite Warriors EX Grand Scourge on my social media recently too. That was really nice. What else do I have back here that I've thrown up there recently? Like just this started out as a HasCon exclusive, right? The Headmaster RC.
Yeah.
So I've got a picture of that up there too, which like that's an interesting thing to me, just because it's so like, you know, off the beaten track for female body transformers in general. Even though they use that base mold for that and Nautica, but you know, it's no Power of the Prime's Moon Racer, for instance. So just, you know, random things like that will go up there, and if you're into that kind of thing, hopefully I'm an interesting follow. So please come check me out. I think that's gonna do it for us this week. Of course, you know, hang out with us on Discord, tfradio.net/Discord. We're on Facebook, Instagram. I don't know offhand, but just, we've got links to our social media, different places. And on weeks when Brian is here, he'll tell you what it is anyway. So, listen to last week, listen to next week. You'll find it somewhere. Just if we're on the internet, someplace that, we can talk to people, we're probably there. If there's a podcast platform, we're probably on that too. So, just search for us. You'll find us. And if you are getting us on one of those various podcast platforms, leave us a review. It's important to Brian for some reason. So I thought I'd mention it. Anyway, that'll do it for us this week. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks all of you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
All right, I'm going to bed. Good night.
Good night,
That's a good-
Diecast.
Good night, Diecast.
That's a great place to stop this recording. Okay, so fortunately we stretched that out to just over an hour and a half, which is like the minimum I want the show to be.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really hoping to get more out of that what we got segment, but we managed.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. It's just not the same when Brian's not here.
That's all right. We ended up just where I wanted to. So I talked to Brian last week. I'm like, I can't go past 10 o'clock. Like, I have to get up too early. It's
okay. Yeah, so live audience, we're not going to have a post show tonight because we're doing this in a wacky way with Brian doing like remote stuff. So we're going to go ahead and kill the stream. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you next week for maybe a more normal show if such a thing exists. Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.
And good night, Matt, apparently.
I'm still here.